Recording in progress.
Welcome everyone to our C-level Advanced Toastmasters Club. And our theme today is Sirens, the myth of evaluation. In this meeting, we're gonna have training from our Vice President of Evaluation, Toastmaster Quỳnh Anh. And for our prepared speeches today, we'll have something very special. We have two different evaluators for each speech. And for our meeting today, our president, Toastmaster Hương Ly, is not with us, but I'm sure we are in her heart, in her mind, wherever she is in China. And my name is Golden. I'm the Toastmaster of the day. And our word master of the day is Toastmaster David. So if you could take it from here and introduce your role to everyone.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Golden. Fellow Toastmasters and guests, I'm the word master of the day. Tonight, the word master, I as the word master of the day, we would like to introduce the word of the day. That is constructive. Constructive, according to the theme meetings of the meeting. It's an adjective word. It's an adjective. The meaning is to provide useful or helpful feedback, comments, or actions intended to improve or develop something rather than just criticize. For example, her evaluation was honest yet constructive, offering clear suggestions for improvement. In an advanced club, we value constructive feedback that helps us refine our delivery and content. At the same time, as the word master, I will note beautiful phrases that I can note tonight, and hopefully I also note down how many members use the word of the day. Remember to use the word of the day, constructive. I always remind you in the chat box. Thank you, and back to you, Toastmaster of the day, Toastmaster Golden.
Thank you, Toastmaster David. And a round of applause for you. Can someone tell me what's the word of the day again? Just in case someone misses it.
Constructive.
You can type it in. Oh yeah, it's in our chat box here. Constructive, that's right, Toastmaster Duan. Now let's move into the next role in our meeting today, which is, can someone tell me? It starts with A, letter A. You can type it.
Timer.
Timer, that's right. Let me introduce you to Toastmaster Nguyệt Chu, who will be in charge of this in our meeting today.
So greetings to everyone, fellow Toastmasters and guests. So the purpose of the counter is to note words and sounds that are used as crutch or pause filler by anyone who speaks. So during the meeting, I will listen for overused words, including and, well, but, so, and you know. And I will also listen for filler sounds, including and I will also note when a speaker repeats a word or phrase, such as you say I, or this means. And at the end of the meeting, I will report the number of times that each speaker used these expressions. And apart from that, I'm also the timer who will notify our speakers about the time. Back to you, Toastmaster.
Thank you, Toastmaster. We are a very comprehensive list of fillers and redundant words. So you all can rest assured that she will be listening and watching very careful. And thank you so much, everyone. The role take us today. And now we'll be moving on into our training session on the art of evaluation, which I believe is one of the most valuable thing we can get from Toastmaster, or as Toastmaster Hương Ly, our president, very often says, the gift we give to other Toastmasters, evaluation, where we show the good things, the nice things that our speakers do in their speech, and where they can improve upon. And without further ado, let me introduce you to our Vice President of Education, Toastmaster Quỳnh Anh. Let's give her a round of applause.
Thank you, Toastmaster Golden. He just called me the Vice President of Evaluation, and I thought that I have a different title today because I'm also the trainer for evaluation. But I really like that name. Thank you, Golden, so much. And hi, everyone. Greetings to every one of you, our C-level Advanced Toastmaster members and fellow members from all around the world who are coming to join in our meeting today. My name is Quỳnh Anh, and it is my honor to be the trainer for such a very crucial topic about evaluation. So when you see the title of our meeting, so you may have some guess like, what is Siren, right? What is like the myth of evaluation? Back many years ago, I used to really love Greek mythology. And I really love the stories about the beautiful mermaids who are very far in the ocean. They have a very lovely voice, which will lure all of the pirates coming closer to them because they cannot stop but wanting to hear more and more of that sweet and beautiful sound. But you know what? Those sirens are actually killer mermaids. So when the pirates come closer to them, they will become the monster and drag all the pirates from the ship close down to the ocean and eat them. So those beautiful sounds are actually very deadly sounds. But in our normal life, there's also a different kind of sirens. Do you know what sirens it is? Yeah, the alarm sirens. When there's an emergency or when there's like fire, yes, there's that sirens. And that sirens, although it is helpful, but it is so hard to hear, right? It is so annoying. So you can see the same name, siren. One is beautiful but deadly, and the other is helpful but annoying. And when thinking about it, I see that when we do the evaluation, we actually have to adopt the best of the both sides too. So with our training today, I would like to invite you to adopt a new meaning for evaluation, which is I'm going to share my slide today. This is how you can make beautiful sounds that help people to become better. So today you will be both the siren mermaid and also the alarm sirens, bringing to people the evaluation, beautiful in sound, but also help them to become a better version of themselves. And a bit about me, my name is Quỳnh Anh, as you have known, and I have been a Toastmaster for more than 5 years now and recently become a trainer in public speaking. So I have a lot of experience running clubs as the President and Vice President of Education in Hot Kong Yu Toastmaster, EBO Toastmaster Club, and now I am the immediate past President and Vice President of Education of our C-level Advanced Toastmaster. So in my journey to become a speaker, communicate a speaker, I really adore the role of evaluators who helped me through its speech and become the speaker that I am today. And therefore, today I would like to share with you the things that I have learned through that journey with Toastmaster and with evaluation as a whole. So everyone, are you ready for our training today? If you're ready, can you type in number 5 for me in the chat? Which means like high five. Yes, I am ready for the training today. I would like to see a lot of 5 in our chat. Let's boom it up. 5. Yeah, I see everyone is 5. Thank you. Thank you. Lovely. Yes, so let's start. For my training today, it will be a very short training. I have a timer of 15 minutes and for the sharing and 15 minutes for our Q&A. So I will walk through you a very short agenda. I would like to have 3 different words. Why evaluation? What is evaluation? And how can you give a constructive evaluation? And also a sneak peek of what are the training of evaluation I would like to have more in the later meetings of C-level. So let's start first with the why we evaluate. So I would like to have a question for you. In what scenario in your life do you have to give evaluation? And for this, can I invite someone from our audience? Can I have Toastmaster Trúc Lê? In what scenario in your life do you have to give evaluation?
Sorry, can you repeat again?
Yeah, means that when do you have to give evaluation? Maybe in Toastmaster in your life.
Okay, when you hear a speech and you need to give some evaluation.
Okay, so who is the audience that you give evaluation to?
The audience means that the listener
Yeah.
who can hear my feedback.
Okay, so it can be your speaker if you are an evaluator in Toastmaster, right? Or it can be your children if you have family, your spouse, your parents, or your students. So everyone can be the target of evaluations. Okay, thank you, Ms. Trúc. So the second question, why do we need to learn constructive evaluation? Because this is a hard question, so maybe I will invite an advanced Toastmaster, Toastmaster Bill.
Advanced Toastmaster, that's interesting. Yes, absolutely. So evaluation is part of feedback, and feedback is so critical if we want to become better. If there's something that we are weak in, it's a really great way of addressing it, but it's also a really great way of motivating somebody as well.
Thank you, Bill. That is like very short, but very concise. That is perfectly the reason for evaluation. And for the first part about why to evaluate, I would like to introduce to everyone a mindset of evaluation. So in Toastmaster, usually the role of the speaker is more often prioritized. Like in C-level, we have a lot of people register to be a speaker and it's always full slot. And I know that a lot of you here want to improve on your power to become a speaker. But of course, alongside from being a speaker, there is the role of evaluator. And when we think of the relationships, I often say that the speaker is like an artist, because an artist here, they have a message, something that they want to convey to the audience, and they have to use the effective communication. Like an artist draw something and give a meaning, then the speaker will use the words. But for the role of evaluator, the evaluator has a lot of things to know. When you are an evaluator, you have to listen attentively to what the speaker is saying, right? And maybe the speaker is not really fluent in English or speak English in an accent that you don't really understand. So you have to be very attentive. And second, critical thinking. Knowing whether the things that the speaker say is logical or not, whether you understand the topic or not. And decision making, because you have to, along many different criteria, which are the things that you are going to evaluate the speaker and choose to speak about. And last but not least, motivational speaking, right? Because your words as evaluator has the power to empower someone to become the better version, or actually make them lose their heart and never want to speak again. It's the truth. So when you are an evaluator, you are adopting many different skill sets. And these are the skills that actually help you become a leader. Attentive listening, critical thinking, decision making, and also motivational speaking. That is why in C-level Advanced Toastmaster, we really stress on the role of an evaluator. One speaker will be evaluated by 2 evaluators, and there's constant evaluation and training because we recognize that evaluation is the skill for the leader. So if you want to become a leader, you should focus on how you can give constructive feedback in evaluation. So there's a 2-side relationship, yeah? A speaker, evaluator. And that is the spirit that I want everyone to adopt. And coming up next of what is an evaluation. Evaluation is like giving the constructive feedback, as I've said. And constructive feedback here, they will have 3 main points. You recognize the strength, something that the speaker did great. You identify something that the speaker can do better. the improvements. And also you have the empowerment for them to continue on their learning journey. So that gives its evaluation. And so in here, I would like to ask you a question. What is constructive feedback? We know that evaluation means giving constructive feedback. But what does constructive feedback look like? On the screen, you can see I have 3 options, 1, 2, and 3. Please type in the chat which one you think is a constructive feedback. Number 1, number 2, or number 3. Everyone, please. I would like to see everyone answer. What is number 3? So, okay. Yeah, everyone answered this. Oh, Fu Su Su said 111. It's number 1 or like 1 plus 1 plus 1. Okay. So the answer is yes, number 3. Why? Can I ask one member to say why you choose number 3? Can I have Miss Thảo Nhiên? Can you open your mic?
Hello, Kunan. I'm
Yes.
here.
Yes, hi. Why you think that number 3, option 3 is a constructive feedback?
Because I think option 3 point out exactly the weakness of the speaker. So to help him or her exactly know how to improve. And that's very important.
Oh,
Thank you.
okay. So why not number 1 or number 2?
I think number 1 is just purely criticizing.
Yeah.
Yeah. And number 2, of course, it's okay to say your performance is so amazing, but I would love to hear some elaboration on that as well, like why it is amazing. So it's lacking something.
Okay. Yes, thank you, Ms. Thảo Nhiên. Very great. So coming back to what is constructive feedback, I would like you to share with you the 3 S of the constructive feedback to me. The constructive feedback has to be first specific. Because as you see in option 3 today, in here, they noted really clearly about what is the strength, what is something that they see is need to improve for the speaker. Like I noticed you often look up in the ceiling when speaking, not generally like, I don't think you're capable of sharing or like your performance is so amazing, which is like very general. And also it has to be sincere. Why do I have sincere here? Because you see, if in option 2, you say your performance is so amazing, many times in your life, we don't want to be the bad people, right? We would say, yeah, you did a great thing. Yeah, I think that is such amazing a performance. But maybe inside, we don't think that it's so. We just say that to be polite. And it's called like white lie or whitewash. And in our evaluation, we are sincere in a way that we will share even the things that we feel not okay. Like 1 week ago, I have a speech in Hot Commute Toastmaster. And it was a speech that I share a funny circumstance when I got into a taxi and the taxi driver had a very bad smell, armpit smell. So, but the thing is that not many people in the audience laughed at the things that I said. So I was quite confused. So when I come back home, there was one Toastmaster, he texted me. He said that, can I be very honest with you? I said, okay. And then he said that because most of the people, we are very sensitive about our body smell and they don't want to be like the bad people also. So that's why we find it kind of sensitive when you share that topic. And I was like, wow, I was hurt, but at least someone told me the truth. So it's okay if you sincere tell with someone, even the things that you don't like about their speech. That's why there's the sincere here. Don't say something just because you want them to look nice, but say something that helps the speaker to grow. And also solution-oriented in a way that when you share that there's something for improvement, you will also suggest something that the speaker can do to improve. Like in here, like when you say that the speaker often look up to the ceiling, where you have a suggestion that you could try to look into the audience eyes more. Or when you are speaking online, the audience eye is the camera lens right here. So there was always specific, sincerity, and the solution. And coming to our very last point, which I am running out of time, but I would like to have 5 more minutes for this part. It's how to evaluate. So for this very first training, I would like to invite everyone to adopt on the content, which is more on what things you should evaluate. So this is a very standard technique in Toastmaster, which we call the sandwich. You just imagine that you are having a sandwich in your hand, right? The sandwich will have like the layer of bread, which is very soft. And inside is the meat and all the tomatoes, which is like hard. So when we have our evaluation, we also start with something positive first. Strengths, which is like the soft layer of the bread, go soft. And then next would be the recommendation, which is the meat part. The meat part is hard, but the meat is all the protein and all the nutritious. And it's all the recommendation, the blind spot that you highlight for the speaker for them to know. So that is like very crucial. So the recommendation is in the middle. And the last thing, we don't want to let the speaker feeling so down because you are sharing something that they do not right? So we will end with a positive note. We will start with like that, and we end with the soft bread again. So this will be the empowerment when you say that, I believe that today you have a really great performance, and I hope that next time you will improve on the things that I have shared so that you can have an even better speech. So that is the sandwich technique. And for our evaluators, sometimes I know that you will have a question like, what thing should I evaluate about, right? So in here, I would like to share with you some of the basic things that you can focus on when you evaluate the speaker. For example, today we have 3 speakers, right? One speaker is Miss Nga. She is in her project 1, which means that she is on her way to very new to Toastmaster and public speaking. So when we have someone who is new to speaking, then the things that we evaluate on 3 things: content, body language, and vocal variety. And these are some of the things that I recommend that you can focus on for someone who is new. First is about the content. You see whether the speaker has shared like a clear message. Do you understand the message that the speaker shared? Is it clear from what she's saying in her speech? And the structure, whether there is a clear 3-part structure that support how you can understand the message. That is the main thing about content. And for the body language, for someone who is new, the most important thing is that they have the courage to have eye contact first. Look into the audience's eyes first and have maybe a straight gesture. Look confident. That is good enough. And for vocal variety, loud enough voice and good enough pace so that everyone can hear what he or she is saying. So these are the 3 parts that I believe for someone who is new, the speaker who is new, if you focus on, it will help them to grow better. But coming very fast to speaker who are intermediate, which is in their pathway project 2 or 3 already, the content, body language, and vocal variety will be a bit higher up. In content now, it's not just about whether there's a message or a structure. You will see whether the story is engaging enough and whether all the things that they shared in the content all related together. And for body language, now there's more of the use of hand gesture. Like I use a lot of hand gesture to you, even though I'm online. And also facial expressions, a smile, and also something to convey your emotions. And vocal variety will have more of the pitch or pause. And coming last, which is the advanced, I will share it later. So as you know, evaluation is a very crucial skills, right? And this is not something that can be wrapped up into just a 15 minutes training. And also after the training, it will require a lot of effort for you to take on the role of as evaluator and really practice it. So for the next training, which I really want to have in C-level, I will share more with you about the use of the language in evaluation. Like what kind of positive language you can put inside your speech so that make it more empowering. And also the delivery in evaluation, because evaluation is still a speech. So you still need to have engaging delivery in order to catch everyone's attention. So these are the two topics that will coming up next. And with that, this is all the things that I would like to share in the training today. Thank you everyone so much for your listening. And I open the floor for any questions.
Wow, thanks a lot, Quỳnh Anh, for such eye-opening and thought-provoking session. So let's just show our appreciation first in the chat. Maybe you can drop some reaction, an applause or a heart reaction to Toastmaster Quỳnh Anh first. Yay, I'm seeing so many hearts.
Thank you. So do you have any question? This is, if you have any concern about the role of evaluation or anything that I have not touched on during the training, this is a time for you to actually start that. And Miss Nguyệt, how much time do I have left?
So you were around 3 minutes over
Oh, wow.
time
Oh,
for
okay.
the main
Okay.
speech.
Yeah, so I have 12 more minutes, right? Okay.
And actually, I have a question.
Yeah,
I know
honestly,
that. Yeah, I know that later all of our fellow Toastmasters and guests will have can give it a try to evaluate the prepared speeches. So
yes.
just want to ask this question. You mentioned that in the upcoming training sessions, you will be addressing some kind of keywords or phrases we should use. But just for the sake of, let's say, evaluation efforts later, can you just outline some key words or phrases we could use so that our guests could be, let's say, use it later?
Okay. Okay, Miss Nguyệt, that is an excellent question, and thank you. So I will share that. In the use of language when we are doing evaluation, in Toastmaster, we have one tip that is called the I technique, which means that whenever we are doing the evaluation, we would start with I. You know, in an evaluation, there's actually a three-part thing. First is something that you observe on the speaker. The second is whether you think that is a good thing or not. And if it's not a good thing, then there will be the third point, which is something that you suggest the speaker can do better next time. And the I technique here means that when you're addressing to the speaker, you're saying that this is something from my personal opinion. I observe that when you are presenting, you do not look into the speaker's eyes, and it feels like disconnected to me. Or I notice that sometimes when you are speaking, you are like very rushed with your words and you like scramble every word together and I cannot hear exactly what you said. And so maybe next time you can slow down a bit. And if you feel nervous, you can take some pause, 1 to 3 seconds, and then continue with your speech. So the I technique here means that you always share something that you observe, I hear, I notice. And how does that make me feel? So this is your personal opinion, and we share that because, like my story with the story about the armpit smell, that when someone shared that to me, I know that it's a personal opinion from them, and they are sharing that so that to help me become better. So there's nothing to like we go against each other with this. So that is one tip. Use the I technique. And I think that you combine that with being specific about what you observe, being sincere with what you feel, and also try to suggest maybe a solution if you have, like the tip I just shared. That is already good enough for the first starting of language. I hope that answered your question. Thank you,
Yes,
Ms.
that really answers my question, and thank you so much for the advice.
Thank you. Yes, I welcome the second question, please. I see previously Ms. Hua raised her hand. Do you still have the question?
Thank you so much for your sharing. Actually, recently I start my evaluation role, and I am kind of newbie in this role, and
Yeah.
sometimes the speaker is too good for me, so that I cannot really think quickly about any suggestion for them. So, do you have any advice for me?
Yes. Okay, Miss Hoa, thank you. I noticed this a lot too, because sometimes we know that there's something about a speech that we don't like, or it's not to that level yet. But not even me, sometimes I don't really know how to recommend a speaker because maybe my level is not that yet. And my tip is exactly just to be sincere. If you don't know how to suggest to the speaker, you just say that I don't know, let's say, how you can make that better. But maybe you can also invite the audience, like in the crowd, like there may be an experienced Toastmaster or someone who can give like an additional thing. So it's not like evaluation. It's just not one thing that you can just do for yourself, by yourself. Also, you can also ask for support for some other people. So first, just be sincere if you don't have any suggestion. And second, please just be welcome for help. Maybe everyone can have a lot of like suggestions from the audience, and it's also a good way that you can engage everyone to your evaluation also.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Miss Hoa. Yeah. But we still have some time, I think. Do we have any more questions? Hi, Miss Thảo Nhiên.
Hello, Gwenan. So I'm wondering, how can we integrate humor into evaluation? Because I know, I know that for evaluation we need to improvise. So sometimes we don't want to cause anxiety to the speaker and try to make them like, it's a part of constructive feedback, I think, to have some humor. So yeah, what is your view about how to be funny?
I see. That is just such an advanced question, Miss Thảo Nhiên. But I'm really happy to answer that. One technique that I often use is actually a technique that I would like to share in more later. But there is one thing called mirroring. So you can observe that most of the time when you have a speaker and they try to do something in their speech, for example, they have a book, they have a notebook, and they share about like their diary. So when you are an evaluator, you can also adopt the mirroring technique, which means that you copy the things that the speaker do. For example, many times I did that as well. I have a diary, I write in something, and I said, yes, this is something that I learned from the speaker. So it's funny in a way because we're like a copycat of something the speaker did. But it's also a plus because it shows that you observe, you witness, you actually adopt the lesson of the speaker. So that's why you can like copying and mirroring the things that they do. So that is one thing that I often do. And I recommend that maybe you can do it as well. And for the second thing, I think that sincerity is also humor. Like, for example, if Toastmaster Hoa in her speech, she said, and for suggestion, I actually don't know what to suggest. Everyone will laugh, because sincerity is actually humor. When you say something very naive about some feelings that you have, or when you say, even I cannot do it like as good as you, and I'm really adore you. Yeah, just something like that. It can like help everyone to laugh and be fun. So two things that I can recommend: first, mirroring the speaker. Second, be sincere.
Yeah, it's great advice. Thank you. And I also think that, when you plan your joke ahead, it's never as funny as you thought. It might be in your head. Yeah.
That's true.
So,
yeah, it happened a lot to me. I planned something and just like the speech that I have, and then on the stage, no one laughed. So I think that it's just sincere humor is better. Hey, I see that Bill, you have a question, or you are high-fiving with me or something.
Sorry. Off mute now. You partially answered my question in the last answer, which was, if you find there's a speech that is so off topic, so maybe they were on a project or on pathways, and you found their speech was so off topic, it was so off point. Is there or a speech that was just so delivered so poorly? How did you have a technique of evaluating such a speech, but in a way that was constructive, but at the same time not offensive to the speaker?
You mean a speech that the topic is like this, but everything is just like not related at all?
Exactly, yeah, or something that was just delivered so badly.
Okay. For me, I think that in every speech, even like the worst one, there's also something to be recognized. Because as my job I also work part-time as an instructor in public speaking. And for the beginning level of public speaking, they actually, I must be honest, so bad. The words crumble, the topic is like very off, and even the language is not right. But what I would give them first, because in Toastmaster, we say that there's always something good, even in like the darkest time, right? And we always start with something positive first. So the first thing that I encourage and I say is that their confidence. Because at least they are here, they deliver a speech, they finish the speech, and they have the attempt to prepare and do it. It's something that actually take a lot of effort. Because many a time we have a speech, and even us, we say that we don't have time, so we scare off and we don't take the speech anymore. So they're present there and they're finishing the speech is already something that we should clap for. So that is something that I note for them first. And for the later part, be sincere. I know though, because many times you'll share something that for me is even like, wow, shocking. But I know that he's sharing that because it's for my personal development, for the club's development. Therefore, as a speaker also, we need to adopt like an open mind when we listen to the evaluation and we know that this is something for us to grow. So Bill, for your question, I would say that always notice that there's something to be recognized and also be sincere, because it has to be like two sides. The speaker has to know that they are adopting your message, the thing that you're sharing for their development as well. And it's your opinion. They should adopt it.
Yeah, no, great answer. Yeah, that's something I should take in, because there's been some situations in other Toastmasters clubs where one person had a project task, which was, I believe, vocal variety, but then they turned it into an overtly very political speech that offended almost everyone in the room. And then there was another time when the guy spoke for the 7th time on the very same topic, and everybody was annoyed. So sometimes I struggle with, how do you evaluate something that everybody has been annoyed with? But I think you've answered it really, really well. So thank you so much for that.
Thank you, Bill. And thank you everyone for all of the lovely questions that you give. Ms. Nguyệt, are you reminding me of the time, or you have another question?
The final question. I know that we are running out of time for the session already, but for first time evaluator, what are some, let's say, top 2 or 3 things you would recommend them to do? To deliver during an evaluation speech.
Okay, so coming back to the topic of my slide. For the very beginning of the level, these are the things that I recommend. So you can focus on, first is the top 3 here, which first is the content, like something that Bill just shared, whether the topic that the speaker has, is there like a clear message that you can understand and is like relevant to the topic that they have? So first is really strong about the content and the structure. And second is the basics that you show whether they are confident or not when they're on the stage. And it will show by whether they have the eye contact with the audience. If it's offline, then it's easier. But if it's online, then it's about like looking into the camera lens. So maybe if they don't look at the camera lens, it's something that you can pinpoint for them. The camera is the eye of the audience. And when you look at the audience online, you should look at the camera. That the eye contact and posture, gesture, like standing straight, showing confidence even when you are sitting. Like here, you can see that I'm actually sitting straight because my posture says so. And whether the voice, the volume is good enough for the audience to hear. So the basic things is about content, the confidence show in the body language of eye contact and posture, and the volume of the voice and the audibility. These are some of the basic things that I will touch to. And of course, for the speaker in Toastmaster, there will be the pathway and the project objectives that they have. Like before the speech, they will send it to you. So you have pretty much many things on your plate so that you can evaluate on.
Yeah, I'm clear about that. Thank you for reinforcing.
Yeah. Right. So coming to the end of my presentation today, I would like to have some final words for you. I tried to find some quotes of some famous people who align with my idea, but there's no one. So I make one with ChatGPT, and when I become famous, this will be famous as well. This is the final words. So the flattery breeds a proud conceit. This is when you give off the whitewash and off the flattery, like the mermaid sirens, beautiful but deadly. Criticism steers the hate speed, just like the alarm, which is so annoying even when it's helpful. So what should we adopt? Sincere, specific, and solution-oriented evaluation will build strong leaders through and through. And I hope that from now on, we will all have a commitment that we will be evaluator who give the sincere, specific, and solution-oriented evaluation. Thank you everyone for participating in the training today. And I give it back to Toastmaster Golden, our Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Queen Ang, Vice President of Evaluation. You didn't just give us tools, you give us the whole new lens, or dare I say sometimes mirror, through which to view evaluations. The myth is now busted, and we are better equipped to give feedback that empowers people, not discourages. And let's show our appreciation in the chat again with more reactions. Show your love and applause in the chat and in the reaction tab.
Thank you. And Golden, before we move into the next part, as a part of my training today, I would like to encourage our guests to be the evaluator for our speakers as well. So this is a part where everyone can actually learn to adopt the things of evaluation. And after that, I will give the evaluation for your evaluation as well. So for our speakers, we actually have 3 evaluators, men already, and I would like to invite 3 more evaluators from our audience today to be the evaluator. Yes, and I sing Toastmaster Hoa. That's so great, Toastmaster Hoa. Okay, so Toastmaster Hoa will be the very first evaluator for the speech of Toastmaster Nga, our first speaker. And for our second speaker, it will be Toastmaster Chúc Lê, and she's in her level 3. It's okay if the level is not yet there, because evaluation is something that you help the audience, the speaker, to know from your perspective. So can I have anyone from our audience who willing to be the evaluator for Toastmaster Chúc? How about Toastmaster Hải Anh? I know that Toastmaster Hải Anh is the VPE of EVO Toastmaster, and it's a lovely thing that she joined us today. Can you try on being an evaluator?
Hi, Quỳnh Anh. Thank you for inviting me, but I have to leave at 8:30, so I think I can't to be the evaluator today.
Okay.
So
Yes.
sorry.
Yes, okay. So, do you have anyone here? How about Toastmaster Thảo Nhiên? You're like very active. I'm not sure if you're Toastmaster or guest, but you're very active in the training. Would you like to take a try?
Sure, maybe. Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Yes, great. So one last person. Thank you, Toastmaster Thảo Nhiên. So you will observe Toastmaster Chúc speech, our second speaker. And our last speaker is Toastmaster Bill. It's a very great honor to evaluate Bill. You know, I'm jealous, so you have to take this chance. We have Miss Vũ Thị Bảo Linh. Hi. Would you like to try the evaluation?
Yes, but he's so amazing.
So yeah, just be sincere. I'm sure that you would notice something that he did not. Okay, so
Okay.
we have that. So now Toastmaster Hoa will be the guest evaluator for our first speaker, Toastmaster Thảo Nhiên, second speaker, and Toastmaster guest Vũ Linh. Yeah, Miss, you will be the evaluator for Bill, our third speaker. Yeah, thank you. And back to you, Golden.
Thank you, Toastmaster Quỳnh Anh. Now let's move into the next segment where we can use our listening skills. This part of prepared speeches. So this is where our members step forward with intention, courage, and some strong message. But before that, let's hear from our timer, Toastmaster Nguyệt Chu, who will remind us of the time limits and signals. Over to you, Toastmaster Nguyệt.
I'm back, everyone. So for a prepared speech, the maximum time a speaker has is 7 minutes and 30 seconds. So at 5 minutes, my background will turn green to let you know that you have 2 minutes and 30 seconds left. At 6 minutes, my background will turn yellow. And then at 7 minutes, my background will turn red. And when you see my red background, you should know that you only have 30 seconds left. Back to you, Toastmaster Golden.
Thank you, Toastmaster Nguyệt. As you all know, today we have volunteer evaluators, but after that, we'll also have our official or in-depth evaluator. And now I would like to call on the first official evaluator, Toastmaster Tuyền Nguyễn, to introduce the first speech.
Hello, everyone. I'm Tuyền Nguyễn. It is my pleasure for me to become an evaluator for Toastmaster Nga today. So I wish she have a great performance and focus on the pronunciation, because when I asked her which aspect she wants to improve for the speech today, she answered pronunciation. Yeah. Good luck for her, Toastmaster Nga.
You are muted, Toastmaster Golden.
Thank you so much for your introduction. Now let us welcome Toastmaster Nga to the stage. Pathway Visionary Communication, Project 1, Level 4. Title, What Are You Feeding Your Mind? Toastmaster Nga, what are you feeding your mind? Thank you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Golden Nguyen. Good evening, fellow Toastmaster and guests. Imagine the mind is like a garden, and you are the gardener. Now, if just one thing could decide whether the garden thrives or withers, what would it be? Look around you and see what's shaping you the most. For me, it was my smartphone. Let me take you back to early 2024, right after my divorce. I was left with two things: my son and a deep fear of judgment. Even though I made the decision myself, the emptiness was so overwhelming. Living in the countryside, it felt like everyone's eyes were on me, every glance, every whisper. I felt imposed, judged, and alone. At night, I couldn't sleep. I would lie in bed, scrolling through the social media endlessly, and somehow it knew exactly what to show me. Divorce stories, failed relationship, harsh comments, judgmental voices. It was as if the algorithm could hear my thoughts and decided to echo them back in the worst way. The post didn't just stay on the screen, it slipped into my mind, twisting my self-image. They started shaping my thoughts, convincing me that I was broken. Day after day, I began to believe the negativity. My phone, instead of just being a distraction, became a poison. Until one quiet Sunday morning, I was in the kitchen, scrolling again. Just 5 minutes, I told myself. But we all know, 5 minutes becomes an hour. Then my little boy walked in, rubbing his eyes. He sat on the table, looked at me and asked, "Mommy, is a friend talking to you?" "No, baby," I said. "That's a stranger." He tilted his head and confused. "Stranger? But you told me strangers are dangerous." I froze. His words stuck in my heart. I was letting strangers, people I didn't even know, dictate how I felt about myself, control my thoughts, steal my time. At that moment, I realized I wasn't governing my mind. I was letting it be overrun with risk. That very day, I deleted TikTok, not just because I needed a break, but because I need a transformation. I chose to be intentional what I fed my mind. No more toxic contents, no more endless scrolling. Like clearing out waste, I created a space for something better to grow. I reconnected with myself. I rediscovered my love for learning and exploring. I began studying English, something I never thought I would do, feeding my mind with knowledge, confidence, and hope. That passion reignited my dreams, and those dreams gave me the direction, strengthened my belief in myself, and keep nurturing a better version of me every single day. So, my friends, what we consume becomes what we believe. What we believe shapes how we act, and how we act becomes the life we live. I used to feed my fear with my phone, but today I feed my future. So I ask you, your mind is the garden. Your smartphone is the gardener. What are you feeding your mind? What seeds are you planting every day? So back to you, Toastmaster Golden. Thank you for listening.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Nga, for such powerful message. Now, let me introduce Toastmaster Thiet Vũ, the official evaluator for our second prepared speech today. Toastmaster Thiet Vũ, please.
Have you ever fallen in love with something or someone? Today, Toastmaster Chuk Lê would take us to a love journey, and with the title of the speech, My Lover. Wow, it sounds like so romantic. So let's take a deep breath, open your heart for Toastmaster Chuk Lê's speech. Back to our Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you for such breathtaking introduction. Toastmaster Chuk Lê, my lover. My lover, Toastmaster Chuk Lê.
How is your lover? Sweet, gentle, or kind? Mine? Oh, my lover is not just one person. He is the world. He's every destination, every adventure, every moment that helped shape who I am. 15 years ago, I met my lover for the very first time during a long family trip from Da Nang to Ha Long Bay. I didn't realize it then, but that was the beginning of an extraordinary love story. Me? These cities feel so peaceful, so poetic. Hanoi, you are very beautiful. My lover said, wait until you see the fireworks. This is just the beginning. This was the time when Hanoi celebrated the 1000th anniversary of Thăng Long Hanoi. It was a sweet memory with him. In 2014, I saw him again in Singapore. It was my first time abroad. From that moment, I knew I didn't just like him, I loved him. Every journey made me fall deeper. Me? This is incredible. I never imagined the world could be like this. My lover, I show you more. Just hold my hand. Together, we explore Vietnam's wonders, Sapa, Hà Giang, Phú Quốc, Côn Đảo, and then the world, Cambodia, Thailand, Malaysia, Indonesia, Taiwan, Korea, and Australia. Then, wreck. Everything broke. COVID-19 came like a thief in the night, stealing my lover away, shutting the skies, locking the world, and crushing my heart. No more sunrises together, no more maps, no more laughter. I was a zombie. Not the kind from movies, but the kind that walks through life without light. I breathe, I move, but I wasn't alive. Without travel, I lost my colors, my laughter, my fire. I became a shadow of the girl I used to be. A Sagittarius means young man with a no sky to fly through. Sagittarius is someone who likes to travel, love being free, and enjoy trying new things. In that silence, I realized it wasn't just travel I had lost. I had lost me. I told myself, you, my lover, cost too much. We are not the same world anymore. I tried to run away. I said, maybe I don't need you anymore. My lover said, but you are not smiling. You miss me, don't you? We met again, just once, and like fire near dry grass, our love sparkled again, stronger, wider, sweeter. Now, I travel more than ever. I lead my friends in discovering new lands. I connect with cultures and make new friends. I'm no longer shy. I even written a book, The Colors of Avengers. This is the story tells about the places, the countries that I visited. Me? Honey, you gave me wings. You taught me how to fly. My lover, you were always meant to soar. This means I'm sending it back out. With my lovers by my side, I became the best version of myself. I found courage, leadership, and joy. I feel that this is the second life I have. So here's some my final messages to you all. My lover is number one. He turned me from timid to fearless, from lost to a leader. A leader, yeah, I can believe in myself and I can do many things and I can lead a lot of groups to travel with me, to do everything by myself. And one day in Europe, we will marry, not in the church, not with vows, but with sunrises, beaches, roses, and laughter. So, do you know my lover? Okay, back to TOD. Thank you for your listening.
Wow, what a love story from Toastmaster Trukle. Now, are you ready for the last prepared speech? Toastmaster Luân Hiệp, the official evaluator, please. The screen is yours. Please introduce the third speech.
First, I want to say that Bill has the same project as me. So it's about connect with storytelling. I have been conducting the same ideas and also the same projects as him. So I have some sympathy with him because it's such a hard project to do. We have to connect with storytelling. But anyway, I wish that he can convey his best ever speech. And without further ado, please welcome to the stage Toastmaster Bill.
Thank you so much. Before I start the speech, I will just share my slide, if that is okay. And do you see my screen? Okay, great. Okay, I'll start now. Do you know the saying that I hate the most? Before I give you my answer, I'd like to talk to you about the importance of narrative and how it shapes our lives by telling you a story of my own. My parents were refugees from Vietnam. They came here with nothing. Sometimes I chuckle with amusement when a European migrant in Australia will boast of coming to Australia with nothing more than some money and a suitcase. Like many Vietnamese refugees, my parents didn't even have that. They had only the clothes on their back and some ID papers. We were poor. I was born in Sydney about a year after they arrived in Australia. And this is me. Aren't I cute? I still am, by the way. And thanks to the generosity of the Australian government, we were able to live in a public housing flat in the inner suburb of Sydney by the name of Waterloo. And this is where I lived. Waterloo and Redfern were working class, impoverished suburbs. For most of its history, it was an industrial slum. This was one of the series of concrete flats that were built only a few years before I was born, and it was built to replace the slums that had littered the area. Today, those towers are nicknamed the suicide towers because of the number of people who have committed suicide by jumping off those towers. When I grew up here, it was a violent, rough, monocultural, and racist area. And this was a street near where I used to live. And this photo might look old, but it was actually taken in the mid-1990s. So for some of us, it wasn't that long ago. The kids I grew up largely came from broken, dysfunctional families. Many grew up with intergenerational unemployment. That is, their grandparents, their parents, and eventually themselves were unemployed. The local primary school I attended carried a reputation that followed us. We were the rough kids, the troublemakers, the drop kicks. Nothing was asked of us, and nothing was expected. The overwhelming feeling I felt at school was that we were made to feel like losers. When I told my teacher in year 8 that I aspired to go to university, she said, "Oh, but you went to Mount Carmel Primary School. Most kids from your primary school drop out after year 10. Be realistic. Are you sure you'll even make it to year 12? When people outside knew what high school I went to, that I attended, they would say, "Well, you attended a school with poor academic standards. Are you sure you can attend university?" And there it was again, be realistic. And our teachers told us to be realistic when we discussed about our aspirations to achieve something greater. Like many refugees, my parents worked extremely hard, and eventually we moved out of Waterloo. They even managed to buy a house in a nicer area. But I've always had a connection to that area, and over the years, I could still see the kids I grew up with on the streets. Sadly, many of them fell into the trap of joining gangs and getting into drugs. When I had my business, I used to drive past a local methadone clinic on my way to work. For those of you who don't know, a methadone clinic is a place to treat heroin and opioid addicts. And I saw so many of my primary school classmates that I could almost have a class reunion if I went to join them. I had such a miserable experience in primary school. I was bullied and I was subject to so many racist attacks. And I looked at the kids who used to bully me, who are now hanging around outside that methadone clinic. And I looked at them with a bit of schadenfreude. I really wanted to rub my success into their faces. I used to credit my success with my grit and my hard work. But as I've grown older, I've come to realize the importance of narrative in our lives. These kids grew up with the narrative that they were losers because of where they came from. They were told, be realistic. Their parents never provided a role model for them. The truth is, they never had a chance. They continued the generational cycle of unemployment and despair, and it manifested in their addiction to drugs. My parents, on the other hand, provided me with a different narrative, that of hard work, perseverance, and striving for excellence. They worked brutally hard to lift us out of that poverty and despair. They were the perfect role models. And I learned that whatever success I achieved wasn't just due to my effort, but it was also a result of the narrative and the example that my parents provided. One of the great privileges of being a Toastmaster is hearing the inspirational stories of members who have overcome adversity to achieve greatness. It is also one of the most annoying aspects of Toastmasters. And it is irritating because so often they would neglect to share the stories of those who helped them along the way. Greatness comes not only from the agency of others, it also comes from the narratives that we are given. So let's circle back. What's the saying I hate most? It's be realistic. It's a way of telling us never to strive, stay in your lane, and that you're not worth it. And I know that many of you here are high achievers. Many of you have gone through an incredible adversity to achieve extraordinary things. You are exceptional. However, the truth is that if you provide a narrative to most kids that portrays them as losers for long enough, they will actually believe you. Be realistic is the ultimate fuck you statement narrative to a kid. Back to you, Toastmasters.
Wow, I'm speechless. Midnight BBC story, and also a very, very powerful message about the narrative we tell ourselves determines what is realistic or not. So thank you again for such a great speech. And now I would like to introduce our timer again, Toastmaster Nguyệt Chu, to help us track of how well we stayed within our time limits. Toastmaster Nguyệt Chu, the screen is yours.
Hello everyone again. So I have some narrative of a person who has to do this role. I'm multitasking like hell, I have to say. At the same time, I really wanted to listen to beautiful stories, beautiful narratives that you guys were telling us. But this is my time report. Toastmaster Nganning is 5 minutes and 17 seconds. Toastmaster Chukle is 7 minutes and 17 seconds. Toastmaster Buchan is 7 minutes and 8 seconds. So all of the three speakers are qualified for voting today. And in terms of the counter, actually, I didn't hear any filler words or any repetition of words. So congratulations on that. Back to you, Toastmaster Golden Nguyen.
Thank you, Toastmaster Nguyệt Chu. And now it's time for you, the audience, to cast your votes. And to guide us through the voting process, please welcome our Sergeant at Arms, Toastmaster David Tan. Over to you, David.
Thank you very much. Please vote for the best speaker as all speakers qualified. The link is in the chat box. 1 minute given. We have 23 people, 5 people, 7. Cast your votes, cast your votes. Ten people already voted. Please type done, the word done, once you have voted. 10 more people. Thank you very much for voting. For those who haven't voted, please vote immediately. And back to you, Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you very much for your support, Toastmaster David Tan. And now we enter one of the most valuable space in our meeting today, the volunteer evaluation session, or what we like to call a safe playground for sharpening our feedback skills. But first, let's hear from Toastmaster Nguyet again about the timing rule for this session.
So each evaluator has 3 minutes and 30 seconds for the evaluation speech. When the speech is 2 minutes long, my background will turn green. At 2 minutes and 30 seconds, my background will turn yellow. And at 3 minutes, you will see my background turn red. And that means that you only have 30 seconds left. So back to you, Golden Nguyen.
Thank you, Toastmaster Nguyet. I would like to call on Toastmaster Hua, our first volunteer evaluator of the day. Toastmaster Hua, please, the screen is yours.
Good evening, everybody. It's my honor to give the evaluation speech to our speaker. And I love her speech that Miss Nga shared about the story about her personal life, and also she shared about the conversation between her and her children, and even another thing with her phone. The story make us enjoy to her speech, and we keep following until the end of the speech. And I love the way she deliver her speech, when she role play with her children. She tried to be smaller and her voice is higher to make us realize that her child is so cute and he's so curious about her situation. And she become stronger, bigger, and stricter when she with the role of the mother in communication with her children. And I really love the speech, and it's hard for me to give a suggestion. But actually, I just realized that because the restriction of our screen, maybe the whole of her hand gesture is limited. And sometimes I know that she try to do some hand gesture, but it's out of the screen, so that so I cannot really realize that what is the specific hand gesture. So I just give a small suggestion that she can put camera a little bit further away, or she can step back a little bit so that the screen can cover all of her hand gesture. So in general, I really love her speech. I love the story that she deliver, love the way she change her vocal variety so that we can be more interesting to her speech, and the way she try to give the hand gesture to make us feel more open and connected to her speech. And I really looking forward to her next speech in the future. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Hua, our first guest evaluator. And now to our second guest evaluation. I would like to welcome Toastmaster Trúc Lê. Wait. Where? Yeah.
Toastmaster Thảo Nhiên. Yeah.
Hello,
Yeah, I'm so
Golden.
sorry.
Yeah.
I think I made a mistake there. Yes, the
Yeah,
second guest
that's
evaluator
fine.
is Toastmaster Thảo Nhiên. I don't know why I wrote down Trúc Lê's name. Welcome, Toastmaster Thảo Nhiên. The screen is yours.
Yes, thank you. So actually, I'm not a Toastmaster. I'm just a guest. And yeah, I would like to give my evaluation to Toastmaster Trúc today. So the first thing, Miss Trúc, you go, girl. Like, the first question you asked us is, how's your lover? And I don't think that a lot of people here can relate to that question, but it's definitely a very good beginning. It draw me in. And I can feel your energy. You're very energetic. I love the way that you move your body around the camera because I feel like I have to like really follow your movement, and that's why it helps me to pay my focus, my attention to your speech even more. The second thing that I love about your speech is your the part that you do the impression of your boyfriend. And I think it's so amazing when you act out your boyfriend in a very deep and masculine voice. Yeah, it's so great that you did it. And I think it's something that I should learn from you as I'm preparing for my own speeches in the future. So one thing about the content that I think you can improve on is you told a very beautiful story of traveling with your boyfriend, but then to me, the meaning could have been a little bit deeper because I sort of don't feel really connected to your story. You are saying that your boyfriend make you become like a timid girl to transform into a leader, but I think the connections there is still a little bit weak. Yeah, it's just my feeling. However, well, to sum up, I'm also a Sagittarius. Is that how you pronounce that word? Maybe I'm not very good at horoscope, but I know that for Sagittarius like us, we are very adventurous, confident, and we love challenges. So, yeah, I think in the future speeches, you can improve and, yeah, I mean, can bring your best potential to all of us. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Thảo Nhiên, for your entertaining somehow. I felt like it was entertaining and informative at the same time. Thank you very much. Now to our third guest evaluator, guest Linh Vũ. May I invite Linh Vũ to the screen? Screen is yours.
Hi everyone. Yeah. Well, how many of you agree with me that Bill is truly the reason coffee isn't the only thing keeping us awake today? Yeah, he worked in a much deeper way by giving us very fresh perspective to be realistic in a real life. So right from the start, Bill drew us in with a powerful question and the vivid image of a boat refugee. That opening transported us immediately into the story and set the tone for everything that followed. And even he have very rich vocabulary and use some of the idioms that gave the message a unique and memorable touch. Most importantly, I love how he used storytelling so effectively to engage the audience. We weren't just listening, we were feeling, reflecting, and learning alongside his story. We can see a lot of text in our chat box. So it definitely say that his story is very engaged. And he ends with a strong reminder to be realistic. In a world full of challenge, crimes, he offered refreshing perspective. Stay ground, be practical, and focus on what truly works. Hard work and life lessons he learned from his parent. There's one thing I think I want to emphasize what we learned from his speech rather than the constructive feedback. I really appreciate how Bill started his speech with a compelling question and brought it full circle by answering it at the end. And maybe the one thing to improve is he can create a strong narrative that kept us engaged throughout by considering briefly revisiting the question once or twice during the middle of the talk to reinforce the connection and keep the audience reflecting as he develops the points. So Bill, thank you so much for sharing your journey and inspiring us to approach lie with both realisms and resilience. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Linh Vũ. And I would like to say thanks to all our guest evaluators for your thoughtful and on-the-spot feedback. That's the spirit of growth we cherish in our club. Now let's hear how we did on time from our timer, Toastmaster Nguyệt Chu, for the report.
So for Toastmaster Hoa, can you Toastmaster Golden, can you remind me of the first evaluator's name?
Hoa.
Hoa, right? Okay. So for Toastmaster Hoa is 2 minutes and 12 seconds. Guest Thảo Nhiên is 2 minutes and 11 seconds. Then guest Linh Vũ is 2 minutes and 45 seconds. That's for the time report. And in terms of the counter, Toastmaster Hoa is 9. Give me a moment. Doing some math here. And it's 14 as guest Thảo Nhiên is 2 hours and 6 hours. Guest Linh Vũ is 5 hours and 1 hour. And this is the very first time to give evaluation speech. And congratulations on this milestone. Back to you, Toastmaster Golden Nguyen.
Thank you, Toastmaster Nguyệt Chu, for the timing report and such precision in your counters. Now let's take a moment to reflect on the evaluators themselves, just as our speakers just benefited from the feedback. So do our guest evaluators. In this segment, we'll offer them constructive insights on their evaluation delivery, what worked well and where they can grow. And to lead us through this, please welcome back Toastmaster Quỳnh Anh, our trainer today, for the feedback session.
Thank you, Toastmaster Golden. Wow, everyone. Wow, what a performance that we just witnessed from our 3 guest evaluators, right? They just take it from the spot, but I must say that their evaluation is amazing as they have prepared it for a long time before. So before I go into my session, please give a big round of applause for their courage and also the amazing performance that they just gave to Toastmaster Thiên Hoa, guest Linh Vũ, and guest Thảo Nhiên. And for my part here, I will reflect on some of the points that we just learned in our evaluation part and how our guest speakers has actually embodied it and used it in their evaluation. The first thing that I really love about our 3 speakers, evaluators, is that they have very clear structure using the 3 parts in the evaluation as I just shared. I can't believe that this is the first time that you did it, Toastmaster guest Linh Vũ or guest Thảo Nhiên. Because the first thing, they stated on the strengths, what they have observed from the speakers. And I love the thing that they are very clear on saying, I see that and the way that you do move it like this. So they not just say that this is a strength, but they actually give the reason and also even mimic it back what they have observed. So that is a very good thing. And the second part in the structure, they did highlight some point of improvement. Even for Bill, right? Yeah, like I say that they notice something that they think that it can be improved, then there is the solution on how to improve. So the structure is followed really strictly. And the thing that I love the most is that they're not forgetting the third point, which is the empowerment, summarizing everything that they just said and share the last words for the speakers and even in time. So the structure is followed amazingly with detail, with specific, and I think that sincerity also, and even with solution. So it means that our guest speakers today have actually adopted the sharing of the evaluation training really well. So big applause for you for that. And for the second part that I really like about our guest speakers today is when they show it, you can see that they actually use a lot of like their body language and also on their voice in order to represent what has actually been said. So I think that this is a part about like engagement there. It means that you not just stating what you say, but you actually live it, like you demo it again. So this is the second part that I really love. And for the point for improvement, the point for improvement here would be some part that actually not really in the evaluation training today, but I think that it should be highlighted for growth. The first thing is about the use of person. Our first and our second guest evaluator use the pronoun you. As you can see, when they speak to, when Toastmaster Thiên Hoa talked to Toastmaster Nga, she said you. And when guest Thảo Nhiên talked to Toastmaster Trúc Lê, she said you. The one thing about the context that we are having here is because we are online. So actually, in online, it's really hard to have like a one-on-one interaction. And therefore, I would encourage that when you speak to the evaluator, use the pronoun he or she. Because when you say he or she, it means that you are speaking to everyone. Like I said, like they should use the pronoun he or she, because when they use that, everyone will feel like they are speaking to you, not just with the speaker and evaluator. And I actually see that Miss Ling, right? Miss Ling actually used he. So maybe that is like randomly, but it's a good thing. So be mindful of the pronoun that you use when you say he or she with everyone, because the evaluation here is not just for the speaker themselves, but for everyone to learn something. So you can use he or she have did something very great. And I believe that Bill, I believe that Nga and Trúc Lê can improve much greater next time. So the first tip is on the pronoun. The second thing is, why is it very good to say about your feeling? I would suggest that we avoid the generalization. Because I heard from our guest speaker say that we all feel empowered, we can all understand, and we like something like that. What I have shared in the evaluation training is, as you remember, the I technique, because what we said in here is something that from our personal opinion and from our personal view. So for some critical people, they would not like to be like generalized that I feel empowered or not. So when you share something that you feel, you can use the I can feel empowered. I really like the way that you use. Instead of saying we can all feel uplifted, we all understand what he or she said. Yeah. So that is just two tips, which is actually quite more advanced. But I believe that because our guest speaker, the quality of our guest speaker today is like so good. So with these two things, they can actually make the evaluation of much higher quality. And I really look forward for you to join in more Toastmaster meeting and maybe develop your evaluation skills much further, because your start is already really great. So thank you, and back to you, Toastmaster Golden.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Quỳnh Anh, for your sharp observations and very supportive feedback. It was really a real demonstration of what it means to evaluate with both sincerity and substance. Now into the in-depth evaluation segment, we will have experienced Toastmasters to provide comprehensive feedback on the speeches we heard earlier. These evaluations are the core of our learning process, with clear, constructive feedback to elevate both the speaker and the evaluator. Let's begin with our first evaluator, Toastmaster Duyên Nguyễn. Toastmaster Duyên Nguyễn, the screen is yours.
Good morning, fellow Toastmaster and guests. Can you give a big applause for Toastmaster Nga today? Do you agree with me? Toastmaster Nga today deliver a beautiful speech. Raise your hand or give a reaction. Yeah. For each speech, I see Toastmaster Nga improve a lot. And I super enjoyed her speech today. Now I would like to share my evaluation. What she did well today, first in body language. Her level now is level 1. So she delivered body language basically, but I feel appreciate for that. She control body language, use hand gestures, and control eye contact when deliver speech. I observe that she change and movement when she play role with her son during the speech. Secondly, she also apply the vocal variety. I observed that some sentence during her speech, she changed her voice and the volume. It makes me feel impactful speech and show a varieties. I encourage her to practice more, to highlight and bold the message during her speech. And now it's a room for her to improve. That's about the pronunciations. I observed Toastmaster Nga make a clear progress in pronunciation. Today, she's improved a lot. Her words and sentence is clearer and easy to understand more than her last speech. And I humbly suggest for her to keep going on to improving pronunciation by applying technique, chunking technique, and recording. I think this the way can help her to build the muscle memory and observe her pronunciation, improving day by day, week by week, and month by month. Overall, I think she have a beautiful speech today. She make a lot of efforts to improve pronunciation and keep going on. Toastmaster Nga. I'm excited to hear her next speech.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Tuyen, for your powerful and very clear feedback for Toastmaster Nga. Let's keep the momentum going. Next up, our second evaluator. Let's hear it from Toastmaster Tietvu. Toastmaster Tietvu.
Do you remember the lover of Toastmaster Chocolate?
Many.
Many. Thank you for your commenting. It is Meter Travel. So Meter Travel has changed her, has give her the wing to fly up high. So it relates to all of us because I believe each of us will have our own meter travel, and that the thing that we love to do change us, make us become a better version of ourselves. So as we are in sea level Toastmaster Club, so today I would like to give 3C as my constructive feedback for Toastmaster Chocolate speech. So the first C is the creativity. So the creativity lies in the fact that Toastmaster Chocolate go meter travel is her lover. She's not only speaking about traveling, but she personified it to become a person. She changed from the common topic into something poem, romantic, and that is really interesting, and it attract our attention to her speech, and that make her speech stand out of the usual predictable style. And the second C is a connection. So her story connected to us. If you remember, she began she met the guy 15 years ago from the trip from Da Nang to Hạ Long Bay, and she changed her vocal variety, use her vocal variety, so to show us feel this guy. He's a calm guy, he's like poem, and from her voice we know that this guy is old, right, but he's rich, and that is important. And this guy took her to Singapore because he's rich, and in Singapore this guy hold her hand and whisper, I will show you the world. Oh, so romantic. Who can resist this guy? And then after that we see the problem. They broke up because of the showing up of the third person. It is Miss COVID, and then Miss Money, and after that she felt lost, and then the guy just whisper again, you're not smiling anymore, do you miss me? And just that, this make the fire of the love spark again. So through her story we experience the roller coaster emotion, the joy, the loss, and the joy again. So it's, I believe it relates to all of us, even we don't love traveling, but I think we all experience the feeling of finding something we love to do, and then the loss of the passion, and then the power when you fight again. And the last C is the color, because her message is that Mr. Travel has changed her from a timid girl to a fearless girl, from the lost person to a leader. But I didn't find the vivid detail from the message of from the story to understand the message. But if she could cover her story with the detail so that the audience can connect with her message, so that could help the audience absorb the message deeply. So to summarize, she's Toastmaster Chukley speech is the really great one, and she excel at creativity, connection, and if she can cover her speech with the vivid detail, so that connect to the message, that will bring her speech to the next level. Thank you. Back to our Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you, Toastmaster Thiet Vũ, for such an entertaining evaluation. And we've got 2 strong evaluations so far, very insightful and direct. Now let's bring it home with our third evaluator, so Toastmaster Tuấn Hiệp.
Actually, I'm not really ready, but why I have to start now? Okay, so first of all, congratulations, Bill. Such a good speech. I have to say that. So because you are a man, so I cannot use the he technique for you. So I use the him technique for you, which is what I hear, what is your image that you add into your speech, and also your mindset. Hear, image, and mindset about what I hear. Okay, first, very bold. The story of both men and the story of being realistic. It really emphasizes all the key of the message that you repeat again and again the terms be realistic many times when their dreams are refused. That's, I really love it so much from Bill's speech, because it's always go all the way from the beginning to the end of the speech, so everybody can remember it very, very well, because Bill has repeated and really reminds everyone's the key message from him. And also, but there's one thing that he can do better next time, is that when he goes from the story from a boatman and the dreams of the dreams of the children that can be refused, I need to hear the climax, which is the turning point. What is turning point? The turning point is the point that change totally the mindset, which can deliver to others goal that Bill can mention very well at the end of the speech. A decent job, a brighter futures, or something like that. But what is the point of the changing point? He didn't mention. So I want to hear it from Bill. About the image that Bill add into his speech, very, very well. The images relate perfectly with what he said throughout his speech. But there's some drawbacks, of course. Like Bill shared the story of him with his mom or some other lady. I cannot understand thoroughly, but it's not really relating to the story of the gang and how most men really thrive to earn for living or earn for their surviving. They strive to make their better and better day by day. But his image, when he shows the image between Bill and his mother, it's not really totally relating to the story. But it's all in all, it's so good. About Bill's mindset, the storytelling is conducted chronologically, which means from the first time, from the time the terms chronologically means that he says story at the first time that his father traveled to Vietnam, and then he add to many details that lead to him today. So I really love his speech so much. It's logical, it's interesting, his storytelling is amazing. And back to you, Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Tuấn Hiệp. And so far, 3 great evaluations, but did they all stay on time? Let's bring back our timer, Toastmaster Nguyệt Chu. Give us the numbers. Thank you.
So just wanted to remind everyone about the time limit. It's 3 minutes and 30 seconds for each evaluation speech. Toastmaster Tuyên Nguyễn is 3 minutes and 8 seconds. Toastmaster Thiết, I really enjoyed her evaluation speech, and the time is 4 minutes and 13 seconds. And Toastmaster Hiệp Nguyễn, Hiệp Phi is 3 minutes and 46 seconds. And just one more thing, all of the evaluation speakers had great control of all of filler words. I just caught some minor filler words in their speeches, and this is the record. Toastmaster Tuyên Nguyễn is 3 hours. Toastmaster Thiết, she did really well in the beginning, but when she was running out of time, she made 5 hours and 5 hours. And Toastmaster Hiệp, no filler words in your speech. Congratulations on that. Back to you, Toastmaster Golden Nguyen.
Thank you, Toastmaster Nguyệt Chu. And now it's your turn, the audience. Time to vote, but do we have to vote? Toastmaster David?
Thank you very much, Toastmaster of the day. I see that everyone is the time. Everyone went overtime. If I'm not wrong. Therefore, there will be no voting.
Excuse me.
Apologies.
Apologies for confusing everyone since I didn't make a conclusion on that. So Toastmaster Tuyên Nguyễn is eligible for voting. Toastmaster Thiết and Hiệp, they were overtime, so they was excluded from voting.
Thank you very much, our timer, Toastmaster Nguyen. Therefore, since there's only one evaluator qualified for the voting, therefore there will be no voting. Congratulations to the winner. Back to you, Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you, David. Now we are moving on to the meeting report session with Wordmaster report and general evaluation. But first, Toastmaster David, the screen is yours for your Wordmaster report.
Thank you very much to our Toastmaster of the day. Back to me. I'm the Wordmaster of the day, and tonight, please inform me if I did not record you all using the word of the day, constructive. Well done to all who use the word of the day, constructive. Toastmaster Queen Anne, 7 times, of course, because that's a topic. That's why she used the most. our guest Tao Nian once, Toastmaster Nguyen once, our guest Toastmaster Tian once, our guest Lin Wu one, and Toastmaster Tiet once. Please write in the chat. But please, if I did not note down what you mention the word of the day, please inform me, and including the times. And also, I like to report on the beautiful phrases for tonight. Wow, actually, tonight's meeting was very interesting and many to note down. Therefore, these are the I would like to share if possible. However, it take a lot of some time. All right, I'll just show you what is in front. So tonight, these are the beautiful phrases. Evaluation is the gift we give to others. Evaluation can make someone love to speak more or stop speaking. Say something that helps the speaker to grow. Evaluation empowers, not destroy. My phone becomes not just a distraction, but a poison. Passion reignite my dreams. Your mind is a garden. Your smartphone is a gardener. Timid to fearless. You give me wings to spread. Brightness comes from the narratives we are given. Be realistic. Thank you, and back to you.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster David Tan. And now we turn to someone with a wealth of experience, a distinguished Toastmaster who has helped many grow through thoughtful feedback. Please welcome our General Evaluator, distinguished Toastmaster Daniel, to share his insights on the meeting and the training session. Daniel, the screen is yours.
Thank you very much. And finally, it's my time. I've been listening so attentively today since the beginning until now. And I would like to segment my evaluation into two parts. The first part is on how Quỳnh Anh has done her training session today. And the second part was on how we have done in general in terms of the meeting. So the first part was on Quỳnh Anh's training. And I must say that today is much closer to a training session than before. Have you do you remember my evaluations of the past trainings in our club? I always said it was just part of a training because there was only the sharing part. There was no practice, there was no evaluation. Sorry, there was no assessment per se. Today, there was practice and there was assessment. So it's much closer to a proper training session. I would like to evaluate based on that. Firstly, some points for a proper training to be done. The participants, I would not call that the audience or the listener, the participants must be the one to work the most. So today, Quỳnh Anh has tried to force us to work, and that was brilliant of her. She asked us questions to answer in the chat box. She asked us to answer the questions, the multiple choice questions. She asked us to answer her questions by asking somebody to open the mic and answer the question as well. And she asked the audience to volunteer to be the evaluator of the three speeches. And finally, she gave the evaluations for those three impromptu evaluators. So she tried to force us to work, and that was brilliant of her. The last time I observed some training in Toastmasters, there was no such kind of forcing us to work, and it was not right. In the training, the audience, the participant must be the one to work the most. The structure of the sharing today, the first part of the training is the sharing, was a very basic structure. We can all use that structure in our sharing: why, what, and how. And she segment the sharing into three different parts. One note for that particular part, I noticed that there were only 15 minutes, but after the 5th minute, she was still in the why session, which is just the beginning. So I would suggest her next time to shorten that part and to focus more on the how, because we need to listen to the how part more. The why, I guess that we are all experienced Toastmasters here. We know why we have to evaluate, and we know what it is already. So we need to know the how part much more. That is why I suggest her to limit the time of the why and the what part to just 7 minutes, and use the remaining 8 minutes for the how part, because that is the meat of the sharing today. Now in the how part, there was a part that she showed Quỳnh Anh showed a lot of words on the screen. It's not wrong to show words on the screen, just that when there are words on the screen, the participants would have the tendency to read and they may not listen to you anymore, which is why I suggest all trainers, when there are words on the screen, pause for 30 seconds for them to read first. You can say, there are so many words here, so I would like to pause for 30 seconds here for you to read these first, then I would explain. So that is my suggestion to all the trainers in the future. You can allow the participants to read instead of just listening to your voice. And even better, you can even send a document, a PDF document in the chat box. Because for me, I would not like to read from the screen though. The text is quite small. I would like to have that document with me to keep it after the training session as well, and to zoom it in so that I can see the text in bigger fonts. So that is why I suggest Quỳnh Anh to send the documents in the chat so that we can read it out, read it ourselves in 1 minute. Then Quỳnh Anh can explain the content later. So that is all for the how part. Now coming to the question and answer part. It was brilliant because Quỳnh Anh did everything right. She acknowledged the participants who raised hand, and somebody did not raise hand anymore, and she still called that person up. Quỳnh Anh acknowledged the quality of the question as well. Quỳnh Anh asked back to check for proper understanding before answering the question. She answered the question as personal opinions, not as the facts. That is the brilliant way to answer the questions. And finally, she always come back to what she already shared in the presentation. She didn't answer the questions using some information outside of the presentation. So that was brilliant. Finally, in the practice time and feedback, there needs to be done. Something else needs to be done to make this better. Because when there is practice, there must be assessment. And when there is assessment, there must be criteria. I did not see the criteria today. When we train somebody, we need to make sure that they fulfill certain criteria so that we can call them successful. Today, I did not see that criteria up front. So that is why the feedback at the end, it was quite messy. It was all over the place. There was no criteria and no forms or no checklist to fulfill. So that's why I suggest Quỳnh Anh, next time when you do similar training again, you need to inform the 3 people who sign up to be evaluators what you would assess them on. You can even show the checklist on the screen for them to be ready, for them to deliver the evaluation based on those checklists. So all in all, I feel that today is much closer to a proper training session, and Quỳnh Anh was really creative by including also the audience into the evaluation session as well. And she did give us feedback and the conclusion after that. I would love to see the future training session, the more advanced training session on evaluation by Quỳnh Anh, to see if she apply what I've shared with her today. Hopefully, there's something for you to learn and something for you to improve on. Yeah. Now, coming to the second part of my evaluation, I would like to give some of my feedback and some of my views and my feedback on how we have done today in terms of the whole meeting. First of all, I joined the meeting about 5 minutes before the starting time, and I was hoping that we could hear some music, but there was no music. So I suggest only that next time the Zoom Master, we call it the SAA here, we can share some music, maybe mild music, so that people would feel more at home, would feel more relaxed before we officially start the meeting. Today, the meeting started on time. Just a few hiccups because our Toastmaster of the evening, Golden, was off the meeting for a few minutes, but that was okay. We started the meeting on time. By the way, when you look at the program sheet, the timing for the last part was wrong. Let me share the screen. Here. When you notice here, the voting session ended at 9:50 and the meeting report started at 9:06. Yeah, so please be mindful because this timing is wrong. You can change the timing for future meeting though. And in Excel, there is the function to add in the meeting time automatically, so you don't have to do that manually. Yep. For all the role players today, I love how Golden Nguyen did his job today. If there is a vote for the best role holder today, I would vote for Golden. Why? Because he did everything correctly. He did everything right. He asked the question for the audience, can someone tell me the word of the day again? Can someone tell me about this, about that? And he used so beautiful words. There was the standard way, he has a standard way to introduce the speakers and every session. Every introduction lasted just for 2 to 3 sentences, not longer, because the spotlight was not on the MC. The spotlight was on everybody else. The MC was just to guide the meeting on. But his guiding was so spot on that I focused just on him. And Golden did not interrupt when the speaker took over. By right, when Bill's evaluator introduced Bill, Golden must take over to introduce Bill again, then Bill could start. But Bill started all immediately, and Golden did not take over. He allowed Bill to start immediately, and that was so nice of him. Now, the only thing that I wished Golden could have done better was to start the meeting on a higher note, because by right, we had Hương Ly today to start a meeting, but then there was no Hương Ly. So the MC could be the replacement of the opening address. Golden could start the meeting by introducing the theme and the meaning of the theme for us all to have a higher energy at the beginning. All right. Now, coming next to the word master, our dear David Tan. The word constructive was used because it's very easy to use and it's very relevant to the topic today. There is the training as well. This word could be typed again, shared again in the chat box many times to remind people that we have the word of the day. I kind of forgot at the near the middle of the meeting. And David listed out the beautiful words and phrases at the end. I think that he listened attentively. At the same time, he could explain why those words were beautiful, which techniques that the speaker used to make it beautiful. I would like to hear more because the Wordmaster report has 5 minutes. I think you spend maybe 2 to 3 minutes. So you have more time to explain further. The timer. I think in many other clubs, the timer shared the timing sequence at the beginning of the meeting for all the sessions, and then we tend to forget. In this meeting particularly, we share the timing sequence right at the beginning of each session. That was brilliant. It reminded me of the time that I need to spend. But sometime I think the timer forgot to change the color back to normal after a speaker finished. So the next speaker kind of feel maybe nervous. I just started speaking how come the time is already green. So be mindful of that to change the color back. Okay, there is something new in this meeting today. SAA is given time to lead the voting session. I think in other meetings of other clubs, I would suggest them to do that as well. Because in other clubs, especially on online club, we just share the links in the chat and then nothing happened. So maybe only 2 or 3 people voted. So today, I think David did a great job of reminding everybody to vote and even spent 1 minute to remind us to vote. And that was brilliant. Okay, so the 3 people that I would like to evaluate to give my feedback next would be the 3 evaluators at the end. I would not like to evaluate each of them separately because I don't think I have more time. I would like to summarize the evaluation based on the fact that they did a great job. They used the language, the I language, and they use the third person point of view. Always refer to the speaker as he or she, and they were so creative of using the structure. For example, Tiet Vu used the 3C structure. Don Hiep used the HIM structure, and they did give a lot of constructive feedback. They did give us some point for improvement, and especially they gave a conclusion. Usually in the evaluation, we forgot to give conclusion, but we need to give conclusion in evaluation as well. So all in all, I think they did a great job. Today, we had a very special meeting because there was training, there was a special session for evaluation, and there was a second evaluation session as well. And there were 3 beautiful speeches, and everything was so tightly run. We went over time by just 8 minutes until now. So I think we did a great job today. It's not like many meetings ago when we ran over time by 20 minutes. Today it's just 8 minutes because there was a training. It's very hard to keep time in the training. So All in all, I hope that the next meeting we would still be on time, just as this meeting. And thank you very much. Back to you, Golden.
Thank you so much, DTM Daniel Chun, for your inspirational and encouraging evaluation. And now the moment we've all been waiting for. Let's find out who stood out tonight. For the award announcements, I'll hand it over to our Sergeant at Arms, Toastmaster David. David. I think you're still muted.
You're on
David.
mute, David.
Oh, thank you very much, Toastmaster today. Fellow Toastmasters and guests, I will handle this session where we'll present the awards for the best speaker and the best evaluator and on time. Ladies and gentlemen, so I need someone to take a picture because I'm full screen now. Are you ready for the winner? To know who will be the winner for tonight's best speaker and best evaluator? Drum roll, please. The best speaker goes to Toastmaster Bilchen. Congratulations. Nice story tonight. Love your story tonight. Someone has to help me take the pictures.
Okay, Bill, 1, 2, 3, smile. 1, 2, 3. Okay, that's up.
Thank you very much. And next, the best evaluator, as you know, as the best evaluator, and she's on time. Toastmaster Tuen Nguyen. Congratulations. Woo! That's why she has the aura of sitting next to our speaker tonight.
Okay, done.
Thank you very much, and thank you very much for everyone, and back to you, Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you so much, David. So what a night. We've had very powerful speeches and sharp evaluations and very insightful training. Tonight's meeting was a reminder that growth happens when we have the courage to speak and the heart to listen and sincerity to evaluate. Thanks for joining hands in this learning journey today. Whether you are a speaker, evaluator, or just a silent observer in the audience, until we meet again, keep practicing with purpose and listening with your heart, growing with courage. I'm Toastmaster Golden, your Toastmaster of the day. Good night and see you at the next meeting. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Yes, before we go, there's one last thing that we forgot to do, that is taking a picture. Oh no! Oh no! So Golden, your job.
Oh God! Please turn on the camera. Woo.
It was
Just
not
stop
in the
using-
program, so that's why he was not
Yeah.
reminded.
So I have
That's
to
why,
put
yeah,
that-
thank
It
you,
has to be put in
Daniel.
the
Daniel.
program. Picture
Yes.
time.
That is
It
obvious.
is for
Every minute
Queen
in the
Anne's
picture.
Queen Anne.
So, Queen Anh, are you gonna take it for me?
Okay, fine. So everyone, please do the C signature for our C-level advanced Toastmaster for everyone else guests. Okay, so are you ready? C, can I see on the C? Yeah, okay. 1, 2, 3. Can you do C for me? I lose my hand. One more. Okay. 1, 2, 3. Yes, beautiful. Thank you, everyone. Yeah.
No,
And
just place the
thank-
hand on Queen Anne.
And thank you for all of
No,
our
just
guests.
yeah.
Who have been in our meeting until today. Really appreciate. So our next meeting will be on the Saturday of August 9th, and we will have, as usual, a training and also our speech session. So please connect to us through our fan page if you want to become like a member in our club and you would like to have more speaking opportunity. Again, thank you so much for your time and see you next 2 weeks.
Right. Have a good night.
Thank
Bye-bye.
you.
Bye. Good night.
Bye.
Bye. Good night.
Bye.
Thank you.
Good night.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Bye. Recording stop.